Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you've been thinking about making the move to St. Petersburg, Florida, you might be wondering what it's really like to live here. You probably have heard that it's a tourist destination and sunny all the time. And yeah, that's slightly true, and we'll touch on that a little bit, but there's so much more to St. Pete, and I want to share that with you all. As a Florida native and top producing agent here in St. Petersburg, Florida, I'm here to set the record straight, and I'll share some of my personal stories and reasons why I personally love calling this place home. Others will definitely agree with me, and I hope that you can too. Remember, if you're thinking about making a move to St. Petersburg, to give me and my team a call. My team and I are here to help you find your dream home, and we'd love to be your real estate resource. After you're done here, check out my other videos for advice on living in St. Petersburg, and comment below if there's any other topics you'd like us to cover. Without further ado, let's dive into the 10 big reasons why I love living in St. Petersburg. Reason number one for me is undeniably the weather and the beaches. St. Petersburg is a sunny, tropical place to live. It's always beautiful out for the most part. We have 361 days on average every year of direct sunshine. Right now it's February. The weather's in probably the mid 70s, blue skies and sunny. It's just hard to beat. That combined with the access to beaches that you have in St. Petersburg just makes it a wonderful place to live, especially if you really enjoy outdoor activities. I like to spend my free time going out to the beaches with my dog Lily, or hopping on a kayak, kayaking around the pier, or just checking out any of the beautiful parks that the city has to offer. Pretty much every time you go out to the pier also, you're gonna see things like dolphins or turtles or pelicans flying around. It's just a really cool spot to feel like you're connected with nature. I remember one weekend in particular, I was out kayaking by the pier and I launched out of Vinoy Park, which is a park kind of near the pier, maybe like a mile or two north. Kayaked down to the pier and came back, and as I was coming back to the park to, pull my kayak up, all of a sudden out of nowhere, something almost flipped my kayak over. And after, a half a second where I almost had a heart attack, I looked down to see what happened, and I had kayaked on top of a manatee on accident, and it had nearly kicked me off my kayak, which scary in the moment, but makes for a really cool story. And it's just one of the many reasons I love St. Petersburg. Number two is kind of tied into number one, which is that outdoor recreation. But not only is there things like kayaking or going for walks on the beach, there's also a plethora of parks here. Everything from couple-mile loops to little walks around a lake. We also have Pinellas Trail that cuts right through our peninsula, which is an amazing spot to go for a run or go for a bike ride. Even just spending time walking outside in downtown St. Petersburg and walking to a cafe or hopping on one of the little scooters to go get a pastry somewhere. It's just nice to be outdoors, be in the sunshine, be around nature, and pretty much anything you want to do outdoors, St. Pete is an amazing place to do it, except for maybe like mountain biking. Mountain biking we don't have here. We're in Florida. It's a little too flat, but everything else, St. Pete's got it. Number three for me personally is all of the different art and culture experiences that you can have in St. Petersburg. We have a handful of world-class museums, which are free to visit if you check out a pass from the local library. They're $25 usually a ticket otherwise, but a world-class art museum, Western museum, glass museum, and not just big things like that, but small things like this, where you can go down pretty much any street in St. Petersburg and there's beautiful murals that people have painted, or I don't know, just like a really nice aesthetic vibe. People here really take that to heart, and it's an important part of the St. Pete culture. And I personally love living in a place where everywhere you look, there's beauty, and everywhere you look, there's something to do to appreciate beauty or arts and culture, either modern or not. One of my favorite things to do here actually is we have an amazing theater called the Mahaffey, which is right by the Dolly Museum in downtown St. Petersburg. And fairly often the Florida Orchestra plays shows there. So one of my favorite date nights is we'll go out for a nice bite to eat on Central or along Beach Drive, and then we'll go see the Florida Orchestra play at the Mahaffey. And it's just a fun, cool experience. Tickets aren't that expensive for what you get out of it. It's just cool to be in a city where at any time, if you want to appreciate the finer things, you have the opportunity for free, or, if you want to pay a little bit of money, you have other options as well. Number four for me, kind of tying into number three, is not just the arts and culture things to do, but there are so many other events in St. Petersburg, as well as a really nice nightlife and a lot of shopping experiences, basically just things to go out and do. A couple of my personal favorites are Saturday morning markets, which are these really, really cool, fun, good vibes markets in the mornings on Saturdays where you can get, fresh produce or fresh bread. There's also a lot of local vendors and artists who come and show off their wares. You can buy, cute little t-shirts or a coffee cup or whatever you want. And that's every week on the Saturday morning, which is just a really good start to the weekend. Central has a ton of different shops and restaurants you can go to. I like walking down there on a weekend and just kind of browsing the knickknacks, even if, most of the time I'm not buying a set of crystals or something. It's just kind of cool to take that all in. And then I'm not a huge nightlife person, but when I do want nightlife, I come back down to Central or downtown St. Petersburg, and there are so many different options. There's something that we do here called First Fridays, which is the first Friday of every month. They actually shut down a street in downtown St. Petersburg where there's a lot of these bars lined up, and they shut the whole street down. So they bring in a bunch of food trucks, and basically there's just a whole block of the city where people come to hang out, have drinks, have good food. They have live music there. It's just a really, really cool place to be if you want to engage with your community, have something to do. do. But, you know, if I listed everything there was to do in St. Petersburg, this would be a 4-hour video. The point here is there is always something to do. No matter what your tastes are, St. Petersburg has it. Number 5 for me is all the different dining options here in St. Petersburg. And again, I could talk about this for hours, but we have everything from cool little local shops. One of my favorite places to eat here is Lonnie's. They make these delicious gourmet sandwich on these like thick slices of bread that are literally like this thick. I personally get the Sunny Bird. It's like a minute walk from my office here in downtown St. Petersburg. Another one of my personal favorites is Wild Child, which I've talked about before here on the channel. And they just have this rotating seasonal menu with fresh, good food. I would recommend the scallops, but there's no guarantee that they'll be there. It just depends on the season. And a little fun fact for you is Michelin, the famous Michelin rating system for restaurants, has not yet expanded into St. Petersburg, but now they are. So I wouldn't be surprised if you keep track with this, if in a few months we start talking about Michelin star dining restaurants in St. Petersburg, because there's definitely a few that I think deserve that title. They just haven't been in our market yet. But now as we've expanded as kind of like a foodie city and grown and developed, obviously we're getting a lot of national attention for the quality of our food and all the different variety. So it's just a cool place to be. If you're a foodie, you'll love St. Petersburg. Everything from fresh and local to, cool little side of the street shops to big fancy restaurants. Whatever you have or whatever vibe you're looking for, you'll definitely be able to find it in St. Petersburg. Number 6 for me is all the live entertainment. I love live music. I love live theater, and St. Petersburg has a ton of options for that. We're actually right here across from my office, and if you can see this building, this is the American Stage, and they do live theater productions here and over at the park. We also have a really cool local venue called Janus Live, which before I lived in St. Petersburg, I used to come make a trip to go see people in concert. I saw Chance the Rapper there, who knows how many years ago. But just having access to all of these live performances, I think is a really cool thing. Not a lot of cities have that. Even over at the Vinoy, they'll throw these big concerts. There's this big Jamaican Rasta concert fest thing happening in a week or two, where they're gonna have a ton of food and a bunch of live musicians for an entire weekend. And so as distinct from other things to do, I really enjoy that St. Petersburg has a lot of live entertainment, whether you like live music or live theater. There's a ton of options here. Number 7 to me is the proximity to all of these other cities, which St. Petersburg, as I'm sure you know, is located on the east coast of our little peninsula. But St. Petersburg, with all of its things to do, also has really convenient access to some other major cities, which each have their own unique charm and other things to do. For example, you drive 20 minutes over the bridge east and end up in Tampa, which has its own world-class restaurants, its own world-class set of museums. You could drive 15 to 20 minutes west and end up in Clearwater, which same thing, amazing aquarium, really cool art, really nice beaches. Or you could drive south over the bridge to like Bradenton, Sarasota area, which also has just a bunch of things to do. So it's nice because even though you never need to leave St. Petersburg to find something to do, if you ever want to, you can, and you just have so many options. I know a lot of people also choose St. Pete as a home base to live, and then they'll work in one of these other cities. One thing to keep in mind for that is sometimes commutes will be a little bit long if you're driving at peak rush hour traffic. But for me personally, I really like being in the center of all this activity, where no matter what, I'm a short drive away from something that's world-class and an amazing experience. Reason number 8 is community. And St. Petersburg has this really laid-back, relaxed, friendly vibe that makes it really easy to connect with other locals and your neighbors and just feel like you're kind of, a part of a community. I have a working theory for this, which is I think if you live in paradise, it's harder to be angry and mean. And so just everyone here lives in a tropical paradise, and so that manifests itself in kind behavior. But it's something I really appreciate. I've lived all over the state of Florida. I've never lived in a place more welcoming, more friendly, and more kind than St. Petersburg. It's just something you have to live here to experience, but take my word for it, it is one of the absolute best parts of living in St. Petersburg, the other people who live here and the way that they treat each other. Could not recommend more. Number 9 kind of plays into this, which is St. Petersburg is kind of this relaxed city vibe, or maybe another way to think about it is we're somewhere in between a big city and a small town when it comes to feel. There's some other big cities like Tampa or Miami, or even like New York or Chicago for those of you in the Northeast that, they're big cities, there's things to do, but the feeling there is a little bit more gritty or busy or hectic or kind of loud and grating, or just maybe a little bit more stressed is the right way to say it. And St. Petersburg has this nice middle ground where we're a big enough city that we have a lot of stuff to do, but we're not so big and crazy that we have all of those other kind of negative vibes here. I think also just kind of being a beachy, more artsy town keeps the big city vibes in check, but it's kind of this best of both worlds situation where you get access to all these amazing amenities, but you still get the feeling of kind of a calmer, more peaceful lifestyle. And, if I can have my cake and eat it too, I will. In St. Petersburg, you can definitely have your cake and eat it too. Number 10, probably the most important to me, is St. Petersburg is extremely dog friendly. I am a dog dad. My dog's name is Lillian Billy Piccadilly Clark. She goes by Lily for short. And Lily lives a better life than so many other dogs in this country because of how dog friendly St. Petersburg is. One of my personal favorite things to do with Lily is take her to Fort DeSoto Beach, where there's this couple 100-foot section of beach that is specifically designated for dogs. They have these really big dog parks that you can let them explore around. It's just nice to let her go out and roam free with other dogs and play around. Also take her along with me to the Saturday morning market when we go shopping for some produce or something. And pretty much anywhere we go, we can just bring her along. It's really quite a blessing if you love your furry friends to be able to take them with you everywhere. And St. Pete not only allows that, they encourage it. So there you have it, 10 unbeatable reasons why living in St. Petersburg, Florida is a dream come true for me and many others. From the incredible weather to the vibrant art scene, there's truly something for everybody here. These are just a few reasons why so many people love St. Petersburg and why I love calling this place home, but there are many, many others. If you're thinking about making the move or are looking for another home in the area, give me a call. My team and I would love to help you. If you love learning about this amazing city, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss out on more insider tips and local adventures in St. Pete. I'll see you in the next one.